Good morning, dear friends. Good morning. Thank you for occupying the front row seat here. I'm glad you know that I won't bite. So thanks. Out of love, I'll take it. Oh, good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to see you all here. We have maybe about 50, 60 people in the room, and on Zoom we have 24 people. Oh, there's Lynn and JJ. Hi, you too. And Tracy and Mel. Hey, George. Good to see everyone. So let us just take a moment to look around and acknowledge each other's presence here in the room, and smile or bow to the person that you see before you. And for those of you on screen, on Zoom, you can scroll through the screen and just take a look and see who's here. Perhaps sending each other some wishes of loving kindness, of goodwill, that we are all here with the intent to be in community, to share this practice with one another. What a generous act. The intent of wanting to share something so intimate, which is our spiritual practice with one another. I want to just acknowledge you all for whatever it took for you to be here today, to wake up and begin anew on this day, and to take the energy and the determination to show up for yourself, to show up for the community, to show up for that which you know has brought much joy, much happiness and connection. So I just want to acknowledge you first for coming, for making this community actually exist by your presence. I want to thank you for that. So I'd like to have Laura come up and share the land acknowledgement, the welcome statement.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Laura, and I am, Trina just welcomed you, but I'm also welcoming on behalf of the community. How many of you are here are new today? Wow, welcome. Well, if you have any questions, look around to all these other faces. They can probably answer them, so don't hesitate to ask. And Portland Insight Meditation Community has worked really hard to become a more inclusive and welcoming community. But we don't know what we don't know. So if we ever do something that makes you feel less included or excluded, please let somebody know. Let a teacher know. Let somebody, I don't know, anybody up front here, let the greeter, let somebody know, because we want to be more welcoming. And if we've messed up, we can't get better if we don't know that. So Portland Insight Community, we welcome people of all backgrounds, all races, all religions, all ages, all levels of ability, everything. If you wonder if you're included on that list, you are, right? And so as such, we have made a commitment to increase our understanding, both in our teaching of the Dharma and in our group together. We also acknowledge that we are on land that was occupied long before us. And we are also teaching a tradition that came from somewhere across the world, right? And we are sort of the bearers of that now. We are the stewards of both the land and these great teachings to take them forward, but we have to remember where they came from and also where they're going. So again, welcome. Hope you enjoy your day today, and I hope to get to know you better afterwards.
Noel, would you like to share? Something like
Hear me? Oh, good morning, Sangha. My name is Noelle Whitliff. I use she, her pronouns. Is that buzzing? Okay. I'm also the children's mindfulness teacher here at PIMC. And I had an idea recently that I wanted to share with all of you, and that is to create a care team here at the center, a group of volunteers whose role it would be to reach out and offer support to those in need. So examples of ways that we might extend support include bringing a bag of groceries to someone who is homebound, sending a sympathy card to someone who has lost a loved one, reaching out to someone who is hospitalized or experiencing a long-term illness, or someone who might be just going through a stressful time in their lives and would like to just hear from one of us, a group of volunteers, so that they know that they're not alone. I think there's something very powerful about knowing that we're not alone, that we're part of a community, part of a Sangha, and that we care for one another and we look out for each other. So I had an idea to form a group like this here at the center. I mentioned this idea to Robert. He was very supportive, and he reminded me that Dana, the Pali word for generosity, includes both the giver and the receiver. So when we receive support from others, we allow them the gift of giving, just as we are able to experience the gift of receiving. So it's mutually beneficial. I'll be sending out a Google survey in the upcoming week, both through the Monday Weekly Digest and also the email listserv. And this survey is really just meant to gather some information from all of you regarding ways that you might like to be supported in this community, as well as ways that you might be willing to be part of this group or volunteer to be part of this Sangha support team. I anticipate the volunteer time commitment to be less than an hour a month. I'm hoping to gather 6 or 7 members in this group, and I really hope that you'll join me. Thank you for your kind attention. Sorry for that ringing. And at this time, I'd also like to invite the children of the Sangha, children and teens, to come with me and meet me at this back door for class, which is starting right now. Thank you so much. Thanks, Trina. Okay, sorry, I'm not very good with tech. I just got a great question. Thank you for the question. If anyone is interested in participating, please keep your eye out for the Google survey. It won't be coming out tomorrow, Monday, but a week from Monday in the Weekly Digest. And I will also be sending out a note through the email listserv. There will be a link that you can click on. It'll take you to a survey where you can leave your name, email address, check mark some boxes of ways that you'd like to be supported at the center. And then there's a space for you to indicate whether or not you might be willing to volunteer your time to be part of the group. So that will be coming within the next week.
No, is there an email for those who are not on the digest?
Thank you, Trina. So you could reach out to me. My name is Noelle Whitliff, and I'm on the PIMC.org website under Youth Dharma Program. My email address is noelle@mindfulparenting.com. You don't have to memorize that, though. You can just find me on the PIMC website. And you could also reach out through the website to be added to the listserv. To be added to the Weekly Digest, and that way you won't miss any of our announcements and weekly opportunities, classes, etc. So that's all through PIMC.org. Thank you.
The volume might be on that one louder than this one. Is it? Okay. Okay, I see. Okay. Okay. Bye, Tara. Bye, Sina. Just a correction on that. To view all of our programs and offerings, you can visit portlandinsight.org. And on portlandinsight.org, you'll find ways to connect to the community through the digest and also through PMC connections. And Noel's email is on there as well. Okay. So I'd like to start with the 3 refuges. Some of you may have received a sheet, a handout, and I believe are there more copies in the back? Maybe no, we're out. Okay. Okay. Let's see. No, you two don't have one. Here, you could take mine. There you go. You're welcome. Put this on here. Okay. Thank you. And just in the Plum Village tradition, which is where I began my journey in Buddhism, we take refuge to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha as first as a way to pay reverence to that which is awakened, the possibility of awakening within ourselves, that Buddha nature, the historical Buddha, or that that possibility. And we take refuge in the Dharma. I think I'm going to switch over to this, see if it's better. We take refuge in the Dharma, much better, right? We take refuge in the Dharma, which is the way of understanding, the way of compassion, the way of wisdom. And to take refuge in the Sangha is to what we are doing here today, coming together with like-minded practitioners, with those who are also on this path of truth, this path of peace, this path of living in mindfulness and awareness. So my ask is, as we begin this chant, I'd would love to request that you really allow yourself to verbalize the words, and growing up in the Mahayana Buddhist tradition, we when we chant, I could hear my dad or my sister's voice, louder, louder. And really we chant to hear the vibrations of our own hearts, mind, and also so that, it vibrates and resonates into the ears of those around us. And there is something really undescribable about the healing power of chanting and what that does to uplift us and to prepare us for meditation. So let us begin. And if you feel comfortable or called, you can have your hands joined. I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. Namo Buddhaya. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and of love. Namo Dhammaya. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community that lives in harmony and awareness. Namo Sanghaya.
Dwelling in the refuge of Buddha, I clearly see the path of light and beauty in the world. Dwelling in the refuge of Dharma, I learned to open many doors on the path of transformation. Dwelling in the refuge of Sangha, shining light that supports me, keeping my practice free of obstruction. Taking refuge in the Buddha in myself, I aspire to help all people recognize their own awakened nature, realizing the mind of love. Taking refuge in the Dharma in myself, I aspire to help all people fully master the ways of practice and walk together on the path of liberation. Taking refuge in the Sangha in myself, I aspire to help all people build fourfold communities, to embrace all beings and support their transformation. Please take a moment to settle in and find a comfortable seated upright posture. Maybe sitting in meditation for about 30 minutes. Testing, how's that? Yeah, I think so, yeah. Great job, Eric. Thanks for your persistence. And as we settle our body into the space, into the seat, the cushion, just take a moment to feel around for that stability of posture. And we can begin by taking a few deep breaths, deepening and lengthening the breath. Feeling into what is nourishing about the quality of the breath. And checking in, what does my body need from me in this moment, in this day? Where is there room to soften? Is it the muscles in the face? Is it the shoulders, the neck, the spine, the hips or the pelvis?
Sometimes we have the tendency to hold our posture. We should be sitting like this. See if you can just allow, soften. Just like dishes neatly stacked, one on top of the other. Each part of the body stacked neatly, upright, yet not uptight. And with each inhalation, feel the energy wind coursing through the body. With each exhalation, letting go of all mental busyness, just like big black smoke leaving the body. Releasing. Letting go. Calming the nervous system. With each breath, coming closer to home. And if you have a hard time locating the breath, you might want to breathe a little bit harder or continue to put effort into lengthening and deepening the breath. You can use sounds to bring us back to this moment. Maybe it's the sound of someone sitting close to us, breathing. That can be our anchor. Or the sound of traffic, the sound of our own breath.
present to the beginning, the middle, and the end of each breath. How does breathing feel like in the body? We can call to mind that aspiration. I aspire to live in the present moment. I aspire to come home to the in-breathing and the out-breathing. And that determination to come home to the breath is what snaps us out of trance, snaps us out of the stories, the memories, the past and the future. It brings forth that energy of remembering. Remembering that there's a body that sits here and there's a body breathing and alive. And it feels like this. What is awareness aware of in this moment? Aware of the sensations of breathing, aware of thoughts, aware of discomfort in the body, aware that there's a mental hindrance obstructing the ability to be present. And in that moment of awareness where mindfulness wakes up, we turn the corner, we make the U-turn back to the present moment. And we begin again, working patiently, working with determination, working with loving kindness. What is the feeling tone of this moment? Is it pleasant? Is it unpleasant? Or is it neutral? If it's unpleasant, can you give yourself permission to feel it, to get closer to the discomfort, the pain, the sadness, exhaustion, the stress. Allowing it to be exactly the way it is. Mindfulness acknowledges this feeling tone. And if you're having a pleasant experience, can you allow yourself to receive and delight in the pleasantness that comes with the peace and the calm? Notice if it's neutral. Is there a inclination towards pleasant or unpleasant? Or is there this okayness with the neutral? And in these remaining several minutes, please bring your attention to the heart center. Getting in touch with what is present. Is there a heaviness in the heart? Is there a spaciousness, a warmth, or a feeling of lightheartedness? Or is there tension, tightness? You take a moment to just get in touch with this. And what I'd like to do is, as we're still in this meditative state, I will pass the mic around and we take a moment to share our prayers, our prayers for peace, our prayers for healing, maybe to someone who is in our life who is in pain or suffering. We pray for the people on both sides in the Middle East. We pray for our planet. So once you finish sharing your prayer, you can just pass the mic around and we'll see how far it gets into around the room.
My prayer today is for the healing of my relationship with my son and liberation in our country from materialism.
I pray that people have more peace in their heart.
I pray for the safety for my kids and just gratitude for being here.
The wish in my heart is that kindness and compassion be present within me, and may it reach out to all of those that I come into contact with, and even those that I don't. Neutral beings, difficult people, all beings. May they be free from harm.
I pray for everybody who is in extreme emotional pain, and I wish them healing and a lot of patience in working on their own happiness, because only they can resolve the issues that they're facing.
I pray for the reunification of my family through this divorce. And I pray for all of us to go deep within and heal ourselves so we can radiate that vibration out to the world and heal others.
May all beings be free from suffering.
I pray for release and healing.
So grateful for this gathering of souls. May we be free of fear, free of guilt, free of shame.
I pray for the healing of all the ruptures that divide us.
My prayers for peace, deep peace within each one of us that ripples out, and any hurts, struggles, pains be deeply healed.
My prayer is for the people here to have peace.
May all beings be free from suffering.
I pray that those who wish to inflict harm on others find that they have love in themselves and that they can find that love and peace within themselves.
My prayer is for everybody here who is praying for their family and the love of
No disrespect meant, but I don't pray, I act.
I'm grateful for a community of spiritual people, and I pray for the healing of my family.
May all beings be free and happy.
My prayer is from a W.H. Auden poem. Love your crooked neighbor with your crooked heart. Today, I'm sending my love to those that are still suffering from addiction.
My prayer is for my youngest daughter, that she may know how worthy she is.
My prayer is that we all realize that we're connected and one with each other and with the more than human world.
I pray for the voiceless, the ones without agency, and animals, sentient beings that have no say in our system.
May all beings be safe, peaceful, and happy.
Dear friends, I'd like to now transition to close our meditation with a chant, the reflections on universal well-being, which is on that same sheet that you received. And for those of you on Zoom, I'm going to drop this in the chat for you. And I just want to acknowledge Marty on Zoom also said, may all sentient beings be awakened.
May all sentient beings be awakened, liberated, and free, and may they benefit from the merits of our practice. Thank you, Marty. Not sure how to attach this file onto Zoom here. Maybe I have to share my screen. May I abide in well-being, in freedom from affliction, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may I maintain well-being in myself. May everyone abide in well-being, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may they maintain well-being in themselves. May all beings be released from all suffering, and may they not be parted from the good fortune they have attained. When they act upon intention, all beings are the owners of their action and inherits its results. Their future is born from such action, companion to such action, and its results will be their home. All actions with intention, be they skillful or harmful, of such acts, they will be the heir. Dear friends, let us mindfully transition from the meditative state to that of movement, that of eyes, seeing, opening up all of our sense doors to include the space around us. And Jim will lead us in a mindful movement for about 10, 15 minutes or so. And then I'll be back to share with you a talk on the power of mindfulness. And at the end, we'll close with a practice on forgiveness.
Let's see how. Okay, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. You can hear me in the back? All right. I think we're good. So I dropped my glasses, so I don't know if anybody's out there. But last time the glasses and the microphone didn't work compatibly. So let's get in touch with our feet and just rock back and forth. Just allowing the attention to go to the bottoms of our feet and notice how one foot will engage to give the other foot a rest. There's a gradual trading back and forth of engagement. And we can wake up the spine by, I'm going to turn around. So I think that'll be better for the Zoom folks to catch on. I'm going to move to my right and turn to my left. And then come back to the center and move to my left and turn to my right. I don't know if you can see my feet, but I can put all the weight in my right leg and my left toe comes up. Now this time I'll turn and rise and then come back to the center. And then I'm going to just stand with my hands, my palms facing backward, my arms relaxed and flowing downward from the shoulders. And just breathing into my belly. Feel the life in the feet, the life in the hands. And then both arms working together, lift up and release. Notice the beginning of the move upward, a little journey that the hands take before they return to resting down below, engaging with upward movement and then releasing slowly. So we're monitoring the speed and the intensity of our effort. It's just enough to break loose from gravity and then surrender. feel how the rib cage expands with the inhale and then releases with the exhale. And then reach out and hug a tree. And now notice the rib cage expanding, releasing, moving the attention down to the belly and breathe into the belly. But you can't breathe into the belly without affecting the whole torso. Sensations throughout the torso. Just the right amount of effort to reach out, let the weight shift into one leg, one palm facing the earth, the other hand a cloud in the sky, moving across the sky. The weight changes. Then we shift hands. And those of us that have done this before, we know it's cloud hands. It's a gesture in Tai Chi and Qigong that works on harmony, moving sideways with the same flavor of energy as moving up and down with the same flavor. The movements are different, but the flavor is the same. So we can monitor the effort required, the speed that we want to move, intending to float across the sky, but never losing connection with the shadow underneath. Noticing how the breath comes moving in, moving out. And then pausing the gesture and just resting the palms of your hands on a big sphere in front of us. A big round form so the fingers are spread across with a little bit of tension. Palm is rounded and open. A certain amount of energy is needed to support the arms, but we can surrender to the chi. Let the chi support the arms. Breathing new energy in, releasing effort and tension on the out. Where do you feel the life now? Releasing down, opening out, and surrendering to gravity. How does the breath move with wide open arms? How does the breath move with attention and gratitude for the flexibility in the shoulders, the wrists, the knees, the ankles, the whole body cooperating, collaborating with the same flavor of opening and releasing. Opening and releasing. Then pausing, check in again. How does the breath feel? Resting. Where's the life? What's telling you this body is resting and living? The living process. All sorts of things are happening. So grateful for the chance to practice again, bring our hands together. Thank you very much for joining me. And we'll see you next week. Sound check.
Eric is persistent that I keep trying this mic. So let's see. How is it now? How's the quality of the volume in the back? Alpash, can you hear me back there? Yes, can you hear me? Is it good? Okay, great. Okay, Derek, thank you. I think so. It doesn't have that body as when I use the mic, but I can work with it. So I could free up my hands. Kat, would you like to come up and share? Okay. Yeah, you stand on this side. Yeah. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I and a few others here are creating a BIPOC mindfulness group. So this is Black, Indigenous people of color. If you self-identify as BIPOC, we are going to be starting to meet. We are in the very early stages, so this is a really exciting time to join because you can really help to formulate what this group looks like. Right now, we're meeting Mondays at 6:30, but that time might change. We're just kind of experimenting. So if you are a person of color and you would like to join, we'll have our first session tomorrow at 6:30. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I realize I don't have my contact information anywhere, but maybe reach out to Trina and then she can forward that on to me. So thank you. Right now we are meeting on Zoom, but we would hope to meet in person maybe 1 to 2 times a month, but the location would be TBD. So Zoom for now. Thanks.
Thank you, Kat. And this invitation extends to those who are a person of color or Black or Indigenous that you'd like that maybe is interested in mindfulness or meditation or to have a community. You can't hear it. Okay, I think I'm going to switch back to this. Thank you. Yeah. So if you know someone who may be interested in joining a Sangha, a small Sangha with the current group, the one that meets on Monday, and they also identify as Black, Indigenous, or person of color, feel free to send them our way. My email is mindfulnesswithtrina@gmail.com, so you can reach out to me there. And for those of you on Zoom too, we've had some people reach out to us recently, and we're very excited to be creating a safe space for those who would like to have a more intimate space. Great. So today I want to share with you the power of mindfulness and the potential
that it has. I recently returned from a 14-day silent meditation at Cloud Mountain, and the Dharma continues to fascinate me in such a profound way, in the ways that we can heal our suffering, the ways that we can relieve our pain that is experienced in the body, in the mind, in the heart. And it's profoundly simple what the Buddha taught. Yet, we know it's not always easy. So, on this retreat, there were a number of people who experienced deep healing. Someone shared that they had a chronic pain in their knee, and they've been getting treatments like medication, massage, acupuncture, physical therapy, and nothing took the pain away. And then after 4 days of applying the Buddha's teaching, the pain vanished. And there was another person who had ringing in their ears, and they've lived with this as if this is now a part of their life. And yet again, after several days of what we just did here for 30 minutes, the ringing in the ear stopped. How does that happen? What is the secret behind this practice? If one is not well studied in the Dharma is the teachings of the Buddha. If one is not well versed in Pali and all those terms, the Sanskrit terms, or not familiar with the lists, one can still benefit from this practice. Right? There's 3 kinds of wisdom we can attain. One is wisdom through listening, hearing the Dharma, hearing the teachings of truth. Secondly, we can, through memorizing, through intellectually understanding it, we can also have some insight into the teachings. And then the third is through bhavana, practice. Meditation is the cultivation of this heart mind. And so that is the way, the emphasis in specifically in the Vipassana tradition, is to insight tradition, is to practice. And so we can learn, we can know more, we can hear more Dharma talks. And in the end, what it comes down to is to simply practice, to be mindful of the breath, in the whole body, and to be mindful at each and every moment, whether standing, sitting, walking, sleeping, eating, lying down, in all activities. And in today's time, with much of the anxiety that we feel when we think about the climate crisis or about the conflict that's happening in the other side of the world, feeling of instability around our health, our finances, our relationships, it can cause our breath to be shallow and short and the breath becomes choppy and coarse. Maybe we are not even in touch with the breath. And when we pay attention to this quality of breathing, we see the tension arising through our emotional and mental responses. And what we touch into is this realization of how interconnected our heart mind is to our breath, and how our breath signals what is happening in the body. Where are we holding this tension in the body? Right? I'm sure many of you are very much in tune with your body. And you have experienced times where the body feels something, and then it takes seconds for awareness to see the thought that accompany that feeling in the body. Right. And so we can take one of two routes: to be mindful of thoughts first, or be mindful of a hindrance, or be mindful of the breath, in order to become aware of the entanglements, the suffering, the tension that is originating from the mind. And I want to share on this 14-day retreat. Not the first time this happened, but again, it still fascinates me. I had a shoulder and neck pain that I've been carrying for on and off for 2 months now. It's nothing major, but it's just, I know when it's tight and I start to adjust myself while sitting there at the computer working. And I usually, okay, time to do yoga, time to do some self-massage. And okay, I'm good. I can keep going. And it would help temporarily, but it's there, right? I could still feel it at times. So on this retreat, after the first day, having sat 8 hours, it was right around dinner time. At this time, I was sitting for a while, very mindful of the breath throughout the body. So relaxed, and at the same time, feeling very energized. As it normally happens when we sit, a thought arose related to work. Oh, I thought I'm over this. Why is this coming up right now? Then curiosity arose. Examining thought in a very curious, open, receptive way. So, do I still have a grudge that I'm holding on to with someone at work? No. Do I need to forgive them? Am I blaming them? No. And yeah, I understand their suffering. I can forgive them. So what is it about this thought that's still lingering here? Then the pain in the neck and the shoulder blades just emerge. The sensation came back, the tightness, the tension. And then a familiar voice came and it said, "You could have handled that better. If you were a better Buddhist, you would have said this, not that." And I recognize that voice. It's been with me all my life. Oh, I see. I'm being hard on myself. So in that moment,
awareness recognize that internal dialogue. And I saw that I was being really hard on myself. And what came next was this recognition that, I haven't forgiven myself yet. I haven't forgiven myself for the results, for how things just wound up. It wasn't anything major, but I was still judging myself, still hard on myself. There wasn't this kind of self-hate, like what's wrong with you or you're stupid. It was just this critic, right? And so in the Buddhist practices that I know of, I practice sending loving kindness to that part within me, the tension in the shoulder, the neck, breathing in, sending loving kindness to the tension, breathing out, allowing, forgiving, letting go, receiving. And it was amazing. What followed was this long exhalation. I heard the sound in the neck cracking, like something just release, right? When you get some the chiropractor and they do something and align your spine. That was the sound I heard. Just simply by breathing. And just like that, tension gone. And when you have a toothache and when that toothache goes away, you're just like still trying to feel the pain. Where is it? Is it still there? So I was like searching for the pain, the tension. Where is it? Is it still there? It's gone. Mindfulness of the absence of tension. So I'm sharing this just to really illustrate the way we store mental tension in the body. And this powerful tool of mindfulness first reveals that which is deep within us, right? Allow us to see it clearly, to come in touch with that suffering, that pain, that tension, that tightness, that hardened heart, that disappointment. And when mindfulness shines light on this, it removes it from the unconscious, from the dark corners of the mind, into the light. And in that moment, when we apply curiosity and we stay with courage and we apply patience and loving kindness and we practice sending forgiveness to that part within ourselves, whether it's the thought or the pain in the body. Mindfulness has the capacity, the ability to heal that which is revealed. And on the last step of the Noble Eightfold Path is concentration. Concentration here is, in Pali, is samadhi. So it means when the heart-mind gathers, when it collects, when there is composure. For this to happen, we first have to work with calming the body,
calming, tranquilizing the mind. And that calming practices samatha, is serenity, the practice of serenity. Mindfulness also has the potential to have us experience aliveness, the aliveness of being human with all of the pain and the joy. So as some of you may have experienced, or many of you have experienced this morning, I know for myself, as we were going through this collective prayer exercise, I was present to the pain, the suffering that is out there in the world. And at the same time, on the other side was joy that we are holding this together, that we have each other to share this journey with, and that brings about a great amount of joy to me. When we access mindfulness, there is the potential to experience life as it really is, rather than the life that we think it should be, right? Or how it shouldn't be. We experience life as it really is, and we include all of it, all of the difficulties, all of the pain, all of the hardship of what it means to be human, to be a mom, to be a father, to be a daughter, to be a son, to be a parent, to be children of parents, to be a grandparent, to be leaders and servants. It's hard. And it's also a blessing that we get to do that, to be that for each other. Mindfulness helps facilitate this beginner's mind. That when we meet each other, we, for example, meet our loved ones, that we can see them newly. We can set down some of the pain and the problems of the past, and the mistakes of the past, the worry about the future, the doubts. Where's this gonna go? Can I trust here? And we come into face to face with each other from that place of nothingness, from that place of just pure presence. And only when we are unbounded like this in our ability to be with each other are we truly first available for ourselves and then available for one another. Now, what about all those times when the going gets tough and you can't sit. You can't feel your breath. When there is drama in life and it feels so uncomfortable, it feels really excruciating maybe. Where is the Dharma in that time? Where are those teachings that seem to come so easy when we are calm and clear-headed? When the flood of feelings or emotional distress reaches its peak, what can be done? Where is the Dharma when there is drama? I want to just provide a bit of context, right? The Dharma is in Sanskrit for the Buddhist teaching, and in Pali it's Dhamma, Dhamma. The Dharma is the teachings of the Noble Eightfold Path, beginning with right view into the Four Noble Truths, that in life there is suffering. And understanding the causes of why we suffer, understanding the ending of our suffering, and seeing the path leading to freedom and liberation. The Dharma is also the hindrances. So I'm going over some of the lists. Aversion, craving, sloth and torpor, restlessness, doubt. The Dharma is seeing the three poisons: greed, hatred, and delusion. Seeing how that plays out in the world when there are untrained minds that have a lot of power and control. How does that play out? Right there, that's the Dharma. That's what the Buddha's referring to. This is what happened. The Dharma is the true nature of things, seeing things as they really are, seeing the self, and actually the selflessness of self, seeing the mark of human existence, the three characteristics of impermanence, of unsatisfactoriness, and of non-self. And the Dhamma here, why I shared this list, is that it gives us context into our suffering. It gives us context. It helps us make sense of what is happening right here in my life, or what is happening with the suffering that I see around me. And it provides for us, the Dhamma provides for us the framework in which we can use to contemplate and penetrate into the ultimate truth. And we arrive at this experiential knowing of suffering, of impermanence, of non-self, simply through the framework of our body, of our own suffering. Bhavana Maya Panya. Wisdom attained through practice, the cultivation of the heart-mind. Over this past week, I had probably the most difficult, turbulent time in my life in a long time. Hearing the sounds of the kids playing, laughing, brings you back to the body, brings you back to the breath. There were many heavy storms inside, and it would rain, and then it would settle, and it would rain, and it would settle. And I remember the one day this week where I just couldn't contain myself. It was unbearable. I could not eat, I could not focus, I could not sit still. And there was a part of me that said, what happened? I just came out of a 14-day silent retreat. How did this become so hard right now? As many of you know, the more we practice, the more we feel our feelings. And we feel it all the way to the finer, subtle parts of the experience. I was so restless. I could not sit. And just the day before, I was able to sit for over an hour, 2 hours easily. But in this moment, that was not happening. So fortunate enough, I'm working from home. So I stopped. I dropped everything in that moment and paused and got in touch with the storm inside of me. And so I go for a walk. And I am determined. I say to myself, I'm going to walk until my feet gets tired. And the storm just kept getting stronger. The turbulence was just out of control. And so when I got to the park, I walked and walked and walked and walked, as that was the only thing I know I could do at that time, was just walk. Just carry this experience. Be with it, be with it. And I just have to tell myself, be with it, Trina, be with it. Feeling one foot touching the ground, weight shifting, the other foot lifting, touching the ground. Sometimes it wasn't that whole entire process. It was just feeling feet pounding. Eyes seeing trees, seeing green grass. So there was some level of awareness of the sense doors, but it was still unbearable to be with the internal. So we can focus in that moment to just be mindful of the external when things are unbearable inside. And so I kept walking and leaning against the trunk of the tree, tactile sensations, feeling the tree bark. And all of a sudden, I'm now getting connected to the breath. The breath is here again. I feel the breath. And there's definitely an effort that is required to breathe, to feel it. And there is work, as we know, when we are triggered or just really emotionally overwhelmed. There's work to deepen and lengthen the breath. Because when we don't do that, it's hard to stay anchored in it. Right? And so the mind goes off. And then finally, I gave into it. I said, I can't control you. I don't like that you're here. But I give in. I'm going to allow now. I'm going to surrender to this experience. And all the unpleasant feeling tones arose. The pain, the aversion in the mind, wanting to push it away. I describe it to a friend like, it's like you're being cut open, and a lot of times you want to turn away. You don't want to see when someone's cutting you. But here you're looking at it as it's happening. Right? Face to face with the rawness of the experience. And there was this wish of, please take this away. This is too much, I can't. And it keeps going like this for a while. I mean, I'm out at the park maybe now for a few hours. And in that moment, my practice called me back. The voice of my teacher called me to stay. The Dharma called me to stay. Don't run. Don't go. Don't hide. Don't push it away. So I submit, and I kept walking. And the tears just kept flowing. And in the midst of that, I started to just touch into this raw, tender emotion. And curiosity came in. And curiosity asks, where does this crying come from? Crying because it feels painful inside. Because it's unpleasant. And I don't like it. And curiosity saw the sadness. Curiosity saw the pain with a kind of interest and care. And curiosity asks again, what is it that you're crying about? I'm crying because I'm attached. I'm crying because it feels unstable right now. Everything was fine. Everything was fine. And now it's all falling apart. It's all falling apart. Then mindfulness recalls the Dharma. Attachment feels like this. Attachment is suffering. There is suffering. Instability feels like this. There is nothing lasting and constant in this life. There is impermanence. The I, the ego that throughout this entire time attempted to get control over the emotion, had no control. And when the ego, when the I surrendered, the suffering began to vanish and diminish. It's back. So we can use the Dharma, in these moments where things get really hard and we experience distress and anxiety and overwhelm, to help give us a context into our experience. And it can provide such comfort to know that that which we are experiencing is not outside, not other than this experience of being human, of being alive. And also to implement the tools that the Buddha taught us and all of our great teachers on how to calm the storms. And when the storm comes to an end, the sun comes out. And we can begin anew again. So I just want to end that there, my friends. Thank you for listening. And I'll share next talk when I'm here. I will take on that forgiveness practice with you. So I hope you come join us, and thank you for your presence. And look like the kids are ready to blow up the candles. I'm going to come on down. Oh, thank you, Addie. Wow, what is it that we have here? What did you do today? Does anyone want to share?
Halloween. We got some Halloween presents and we painted rocks.
Oh my gosh, how great.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to share?
I'm Davey, and we got some Halloween presents.
I helped make those, by the way. We painted rocks, played freeze tag, did a pebble meditation.
I'm Tara. My favorite thing we did today was painting rocks. My favorite thing, my name is Addie, and my favorite thing was painting rocks and doing the meditation. and playing freeze tag.
Anyone else? Anyone else want to share anything? All right. So what song should we sing?
The song we normally sing, I don't remember the name of it.
You want to start it? You want to sing it for me?
I don't remember it.
Okay. Does anyone remember the song that we normally sing? Okay, we'll sing. All right. Sheena, you want to sing it? They'll sing it with you. You sing it? Okay.
Actually, I
May all
don't
beings
remember.
be happy.
May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. Madhu, Sadhu, Sadhu.
All right. And 3, ready to blow the candle?
I think
3.
Before we do that, I
Oh,
think Sina wanted to.
Sina, you want
might
to
have
say
wanted-
something? Okay. All right. So ready to blow out the candles, children? 3, 2, 1. All right. Well, thank you, dear friends, for coming, and please join us in the living room for snacks and drinks and wonderful spiritual companions. All right. Take care. Thank you, Noel. All right, everyone. And if you'd like to keep that handout, feel free to. You could take that home as well. And to everyone on Zoom,